And how's it going? Art lovers and enthusiasts and painters, lovers of the arts, all of you good people that are creating artwork, however it is that you create it on a daily basis, on a weekly, bi-weekly, once a year, it doesn't matter. We all love creating, viewing, experiencing art. And my name is Jose Trujillo. I'm the world's greatest living artist. And I'm coming to you here from a corner of my art studio. I have a lot of corners, as I mentioned before. So I just wanted to do another one of my oil painting demos or sessions or tutorials. I don't know what people call them. I guess it won't be tutorials. I'm not much of an art teacher, but I am a super awesome artist. So maybe that makes it all right. All right, guys. So here goes. I'm gonna make a woodland with some awesome trees. Coming from the kind of protruding, coming forward. Anyways, here we go. So, I've experienced something very interesting, people, lately. I've experienced something very interesting. As many of you know that follow me from before I started doing these videos, I've been an admirer of the Impressionist and the Impressionist movement and the post-Impressionist and on and on and on. A couple of other movements that I really liked that happened. I've been because of that, right? Because I like this type of painting style. I've been experiencing something very very unique. That I think well, not unique to me anyways. It's not unique to the world. But this is the thing, guys. I've come to understand at a deeper level in my personal journey that when you paint, and I know that some of you guys already know, right? When you paint, if you are thinking, when you paint like this, right? Not if you're I don't know, doing something else. When you paint like this spontaneous type of, it's spontaneous painting, right? It's very loose brush work. Some people call it different stuff, but essentially that's what it is. It's a spontaneous style. It's more expressionist to a certain point. When you paint like this, be very careful to watch your movement. And the reason I say this is because I did not believe that this stuff still happened to me, but I realized something. Painting, the art of painting, has nothing, and I mean nothing to do with thinking. If you are thinking and you think you're painting, you are not yet painting. Anyways, this is what I discovered about me, okay? I'm not trying to apply it and say that, if you your personal life, I don't know how you get inspired or how things happen for you. I'm speaking about my journey, right? What I've learned about myself. If you are thinking, or if you're deciding where to put the brush stroke, where to even how to mix the paint, and I know it sounds crazy. I know it does. I know. I understand. Some people don't believe me. Other people think I'm just nuts. I've experienced it over and over. See, you have to be very careful when you're painting. You have to be very careful what you're looking at, who you're looking at, where you're getting your inspirations from. The reason I say this is because if you paint and you're trying to match someone else, you are for some serious. If you do it enough, you are for some serious pain, mental, psychological pain, because you can't do. I mean, I know it sounds Dr. Seuss's, but you cannot do anything other than you. It doesn't mean that you cannot depict. It doesn't mean that you cannot paint. It doesn't mean that's not what I'm talking about. See, that's why I'm not an advocate, as some of you know, of mimicking an artist's style. Although I like learning from artists, and I talked about it before, and I love studying the stuff, and yeah, some of my paintings may be influenced by some artists, and because that's how you learn, right? But if you're getting ready for you, right? Let's say it's not for learning purposes, like for example, someone may be looking at this and say, "Oh, I like to do some of that in my painting." There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, there is not. It's part of learning. It's the learning experience. But there's something in you that is so unique that no one else, not even Michelangelo, if he was alive, could do. Doesn't mean that they could not replicate. I mean, do that they bring forward. No one else can do it but you. There's something so unique about you because it is your point of view. That's really what it is. It's your point of view of life. It is your point of view, and your skill level will allow you to express it. Not better, but more clear. Or the time you've been invested in it will allow you to express it in a more clear way. But and the reason I'm saying this is because look, you start looking at some artists that you enjoy, and before you know it, in the back of your mind, and I don't know if any of you have caught this yet about yourselves, but in the back of your mind, you're already thinking, how is it going to look like that person? Like your stuff is going to look like that person's. And in my opinion, you can't avoid it because if you're in a learning space, you can't avoid those kinds of things. They're almost very natural. What you can do is get out of it. And the way to get out of it is to remove thinking from the process. And I don't know if I'm making myself clear at all, because I know that I can ramble and ramble and ramble and on and on. But anyways, pay attention next time when you're painting. Pay attention to what's going on in your mind. Are you trying to mimic someone, or did you see some painter or some paintings or and it's not that you're trying to, it's that in your mind you're already dead set that it has to look a certain way. And what ends up happening is that you start hating what you're doing because it's not translating. It's not that it's not translating, it's that you've set out an idea, an expectation. I've talked about this before. You set out an expectation and now you're not meeting it. And because you're not meeting it, you start suffering. This is what is wrong with art. Over and over I say it. That's why I don't like shadowing artists. One of the reasons I don't like shadowing artists is because of that. When I used to try to learn how to paint, I quickly realized that that you can learn from someone, but you gotta continue to do you, and it's very hard when you go beyond the basics and you continue shadowing. It becomes even more difficult because many times the mind sets out these expectations You know, let me give you a more clear example. Okay, at some point in my life, I really enjoyed the paintings of Renoir, right? And every time I painted, my judgment was, does it look like something Renoir would do? And I used to do portraits, right? And then and it's all fine, right? Because you're learning. It's fine. I'm just saying, if you're trying to get to the next level and you feel like something is stopping you, this is something to look at. That's all I'm trying to say. And then time went by, and I started studying the works of John Singer Sargent, right? And the same thing started happening. It's like, did I do the light? Does it look like? And this is part of learning, right? Again, but at some point, John Singer Sargent has to go to hell. Oh no, did he really say that? Yes, I did say that. At some point, whoever likes what I do, I have to go to hell. You know? At some point, and I don't mean that in a nasty way. What I'm, those of you who understand what I'm trying to say, all of you probably. What I'm trying to say is that, look, continue to learn, continue to study, but don't forget that you, and I'm not saying this empty, that you have an awesome freaking magic, that you are maybe not maybe, most assuredly not paying attention to, because we all have a point of view, and many times what happens is that our point of view gets shattered because we start thinking that the reflection of our, for example, if you're an artist who wants to sell artwork, right? The reflection of your prices will influence that at some point, and you start thinking, man, maybe it's me, or maybe not your prices. Maybe you paint great, but no gallery really wants to take you yet. I don't know, you know. Maybe you haven't done that part yet. I don't know. Whatever the point is, whatever the case is, or maybe you're painting your whole life, and you paint beautiful, and you're telling yourself, but how come I can't make a living doing it? And you start blaming the artwork. I mean, you don't do it like, oh man, I paint horrible. No, but you start saying to yourself, maybe if I painted more like, maybe if I was better at lighting. These are all traps, people. I want to tell you that they are the nastiest of traps. Do not listen to them. Like Van Gogh says, if you hear a voice, of course you're mine, no, not something else. If you hear a voice telling you you're not an artist, or that in some cases you are not making a living as an artist because you don't yet paint well, I'm here to tell you, I am here as moral support to some of you. It is a lie. You are good. It doesn't mean you've learned everything you have, but you are good enough to keep going, to move along, to continue your journey. There is no place. Before Degas died, right before he died, he's famous for saying, and I was barely getting the hang of this. What was he talking about? Because it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop unfolding, The guy was like an old guy, and he was like almost. I don't know if he was in his deathbed or somewhere, but he's famous for it. It's famous for that quote is famous, right? That he said, I was almost something along the lines of, I almost got this. Too late. Because it doesn't happen that way, guys. It doesn't happen that way. Life is only present. Life is only here. And if you wait for the right moment, or if you set out an intention before you paint, you might start, creating some pain for yourself. Some psychological pain because oh my God, how come I can't paint like Van Gogh, or how come I can't paint like I don't know, whatever your thing is. Or maybe you look at one of these paintings and you're like, but he made it seem so easily. It's okay. Continue your journey. Continue doing your thing. Before you know it, what needs to happen is that you need to start falling in love with you. And that is very difficult. Anyways, I don't want to turn this into one of those preachings that I love doing. But it really comes down to that, guys. It comes down to you have to fall in love with what you do. You have to. You must fall in love with what you do. Otherwise, you're always gonna be chasing the rabbit with his little clock. I'll leave you with that. The name is Jose Trujillo. Oh, some of you wanted to see my palette. So there you go. I'm gonna be doing some instructional videos, you guys, like some more in depth, like how I'm mixing and everything. And remember, guys, the palette doesn't make the artist. I could change this palette again, and the paintings continue to be, my paintings. It's the way you use them, like Monet said. It's not the paint. It's the way you use it. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.